everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Naked Truth. This is Trish here, and yes, I am naked with no makeup on and my hair wet, just out of the shower because it helps me think, so that I can be really me. For those of you just turning in, that's kind of the idea behind all of this naked vlogging stuff. And last week, I did The Naked Truth on rejection, and I shared some of my feelings on rejection and criticism. And I have to say, there's like an army of naked do-gooders out there. You guys are awesome. There were so many comments. There were so many responses. Naked vlogs I got sent to me. Thank you to Jacob and Justin and Kat and Chris and Dominic and John and Sid. And those of you who asked for me to share your naked vlogs, the links to those are in the description below so that you can see other people's naked vlogs. And even the ones who didn't want to share, thank you so much. I always love listening to those, so thanks. As far as the comment section goes and the people that privately messaged me, there were so many awesome comments. I really can't stress that enough. Jeremy Trainer said, gave us a quote from Kurt Cobain, which I never thought, oh, Kurt Cobain, words of wisdom, but what do I know? Obviously not enough about Kurt Cobain. Jeremy said, I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I am not. And that's a Kurt Cobain quote, so thank you for sharing that. Ryan Marin said, the only people who matter are not the ones who leave because you failed, but the ones who have stuck around because they wanted to watch you succeed. Yay! Like I said, everyone was so awesome with the advice on this one. Mr. Joshua 1983 says, I will only fail when I give in or see myself as a failure. I just have to have faith that I will get that new job and succeed in it. Simple lesson, kids. Never give up. And I love the glass half full stuff. And then also, Michael Kaminsky had some great advice for folks who are dealing with depression. And he said, you know, there's not really a quick fix for that. I've personally never been diagnosed with depression, so it's hard for me to understand that. But for those of you out there who can benefit from this advice, Michael said that time passing really helps, and fake till you make it, and exercise. And he has tons of great advice. So if you go back to The Naked Truth on Rejection and find Michael Kaminsky's comment, he has tons of advice for people that may benefit from that. And then on Facebook, Francisco Javier Fernandez Ruiz says, saying, fuck you, I'm fabulous. And pardon my French, but I thought that was hilarious. Because, you know, sometimes you just get in that space where that's what you need to say to the world and to that other person. And then Isaac Diaz on Facebook also said a really interesting one. This was so funny. I kind of talked about how you get rejected as an actor, and how you never really know why you don't get the role. And Isaac wrote to me and said, I'm sure you don't remember, but you came in and auditioned for me a few years back when I was producing a celebrity news show. And he said, you were my first choice to cast, but my executive producers decided on going in another direction. And he said, I say that to say that most of the time, it's a group of people that decide who gets a specific role or gig, and people get outvoted all the time. And he said, while the girl we cast was great, and we had a good run, I still think you would have killed it. And so that's nice to hear, because a lot of times as an actor, you don't get a call saying thanks, but no thanks. You just never hear back. So you never know if you were closer in the running. You just know you didn't get it. So thank you, Isaac, for sharing that. That really made me smile, and I do remember that audition, so thank you. So today I wanted to talk about, dun dun dun, religion. I know that's scary, and a lot of you probably are going to stop this video right now because people really hate to hear about that. You know, they say, like, when you're drinking, the things you can't talk about are politics and religion. Well, good thing I'm not drinking right now. That's happy hour. That's Elliot's show. But I am naked, so let's talk about it. And I want to start off by saying that I am a huge fan of the wise man knows that he knows nothing philosophy. And I don't proclaim to know more than anybody else, whether it comes to religion or whether it comes to anything else. I think, especially with religion, that it's a very personal choice. And I mean, you guys know, if anyone tries to force their belief system on someone else, immediately, all of us do. We put up walls and we say, no, you can't tell me what to believe, and that kind of thing. So I don't ever think it's good to try to push what you believe on other people. I do think it's, again, I'll say it's a very personal choice. I believe what I believe. I hope that other people believe what they believe. And all I ask is that, you know, when people do believe something, it's because they found it, that, you know, they've researched it and they really looked into it. And I know not everyone has that passion for theology, but, you know, it's nice when people are really grounded and own their beliefs, as opposed to just parroting back maybe what they've been told without looking into it. But anyway, to say that these are questions that I'm answering in regards to my personal beliefs, I don't think that they're better than anybody else's. I'm just answering the questions. So let's see. Deadmouse312 says, let's see, I know you may get some hate for talking about this, but being religious in a world where most people don't believe what you do, how do you deal with everyone that's always getting on you for your beliefs? Again, I believe that religion's a super personal choice and that you can't push it on anyone. So it's especially frustrating for me when other people try to push their belief, whatever it is, on me. I feel like it's the same, whether a religious person is pushing religion on a non-religious person or a non-religious person is pushing their belief on a religious person. Either way, don't push beliefs. Let everybody do their own thing, please. And yeah, I big fan of don't be egotistical and think that your opinion is better than everybody else's. We're all trying to find our way in this crazy world, and if it works for you, awesome. So when other people do get on me for what I believe, I just try to say, thank you for sharing your opinion, but I do believe it's a personal choice. And in that way, I'm kind of asking them to back off a little. I'm kind of saying, look, I'm not attacking you. Please don't attack me. So that's how I deal with that. Jesse Jones said, out of all the source-fed peeps, you seem to be the most religious, yet one of the geekiest. How do you feel about the battle between science and faith right now? There was just a big Bill Nye creationism debate. And I do think that, in my opinion, science versus faith is an oversimplification of the information that we have out there. Religion doesn't have to be anti-science, and science doesn't have to be anti-religion. For me, I feel that, the two can completely coincide, but that's just the belief that I've come to. There's nothing wrong with either of the others. To me, they don't make sense. They feel a little oversimplistic, but I like to think, okay, if Genesis tells us that God created the world in 7 days, who's to say that the word day that we're using, yes, it's a measurement of time, but who's to say it's not a different measurement of time? Then maybe a day is 1 billion years, and that's how, that it's kind of like the Bible in some ways explaining evolution. I'm just out there to say, I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to discount anybody or tell anybody they're wrong. But that's the point of it that I think makes the most sense for me. Mary Beth wrote to me and asked, you're a Christian and you work very closely with people who are agnostic and atheist. I'm 21 and go to a college in a small town. I really want to venture out and would consider myself very unjudgmental and accepting of a lot of people. But my heart lurches when people say they don't believe in God. I think this is more common in big cities than in Iowa. How do I deal with it? Do I ever have discussions about God with people about what I believe and what's my advice? Again, I default to I'm not going to go to someone else and say, hey, what I believe is truer than what you believe. I just try to lead by example. I don't think I need to go to someone and say, hey, you should think what I think. No, if they think what they think, that's great. People can be good people without having any kind of faith system or world belief, and people can especially be good people if they don't agree with me. It's differences that make the world go round. So I overall say that, if you're following in the footsteps of what I consider to be what I believe, whether or not that's why you're doing it, you can be a good person. I don't know if that really made sense. I mean, I read a theologian when I was studying theology who said, people get all hung up on, if you're not my religion, you're not going to heaven and that kind of stuff. And who's to even say what heaven is or that other groups want to go there? This theologian said, some people believe that are Christian, if you follow in the footsteps of Christ, even if you're not doing it because you are cognizant of the fact that you're following Christ, but you're still going along with those teachings, then you're okay. And it's important to point out that in faith, there's right and left wings of everything. People have different beliefs, and it's those different beliefs debating each other in a healthy way that lead us to a greater understanding, whether that's in science, whether that's in religion, whether that's in anything. I think that debate is good, provided it's accepting educational debate, not I'm going to say you're wrong because you're wrong and I like to hear myself talk, which unfortunately a lot of those kind of discussions turn into. I just try to lead by example. most people who get to know me do find out that I'm a religious person and that I have faith. But I don't know that I, put that out there necessarily. I just try to be a good person, and if people ask, then I'm happy to share, but I never really, start that conversation with other people unless they're open to it and they ask in the first place. And let's see, then Lothar456 said, how has religion influenced my life professionally and personally, and what's my history with religion? So I'm going to take this and kind of focus on history. I was raised in a household where I was raised both Mennonite and Catholic. So I was raised in a very, different religions are okay, in a very accepting household. And so was my little sister. We were both raised both Mennonite and Catholic until we reached our early teenage years, and then we were given the opportunity to decide. And I decided at that point that I wanted to be Catholic, but I still didn't even really understand it. That was like 13. And then when I went into middle school and high school, I hated going to church. It was boring. I questioned everything. And unfortunately, a lot of leaders, especially in the Catholic Church, I went to some Protestant youth groups that were a lot better than this, but especially in the Catholic Church, they were just kind of crummy at explaining things. They were like, well, because I said so, now move on. Like, go back to what we told you to do. Which is very frustrating when you're inquisitive and you're really trying to learn. And I wish that people would be a little more accepting of the questioning and encouraging it. And it wasn't until I got to college that people did encourage it. They were like, great, question, learn. That means you're invested in this, and that's good. And that's something not a lot of people have. So then it was when I got to college that I really investigated a bunch of different things and kind of picked and choose what I felt was right for me and what worked for me. And I kind of settled into Roman Catholicism, which is what I practice now. And I'm not a perfect Catholic by any means. I don't know if there is such a thing. My sister took that same upbringing and now practices Buddhism. And, in my family, when we all come home for the holidays, that's completely accepted and that's completely okay because that's what works for her. I found what works for me. My mom and dad each have what works for them. And, yeah. So I guess my question for you guys is whatever you believe, whether you're atheist, agnostic, one of the major world religions, how do you normally go about dealing with those conversations in your daily life? Do you avoid them? Are you interested in them? And especially on the internet, there's a lot of hate towards this subject. So if you have any ways that you can think of to kind of open that world to healthy debate or encourage healthy debate, let me know that in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel and share it to your friends that may want to talk about things naked from time to time. And also, thank you. I just got the numbers from the For Human People's 420 sale, and we just had that sale this past weekend. And I sold a lot of posters, so hopefully I'll be getting a new camera and a new mic and a new lighting setup soon, and I'll be moving, so all of this behind me will be changing too. So it's going to be some new stuff coming in Naked Truth, probably not next week, but the week after that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!